Hi folks! So we're moving on from book sources now into scholarly sources, and I wanted to give a little bit of a video lecture on what scholarly sources are and then where you can find them. So let's start with this particular slide. What's the purpose? Why are we looking for scholarly sources? They're long, they're hard, they're complicated. Why would we go through the extra work of locating those? Well, they do a few things that other sources don't do. First off, they give you access to the primary data that books and other articles are often based on. So you're basically getting the information straight from the horse's mouth. You're getting it right from the researchers that are involved in doing the actual research. Scholarly sources are also a lot more timely than books. The act of writing a book just takes time, it takes a year sometimes or even more. So typically with scholarly articles, you're going to get information out faster than you would with some longer sources. And then finally, the whole point of doing research is to become as much of an expert as you possibly can. And so one of the things that you want to do is borrow the authority of other people that are legitimate experts in their fields. And the people that are doing scholarly research are the ones that are the topmost experts. So those are sort of our purposes for looking for these sources. In terms of knowing when you have a scholarly source, the most important word maybe on this slide is this word here, databases. Scholarly journals are cost money, okay? They're expensive. And so if you try doing web searching using Google or any of our other search engines, you're not going to come across scholarly sources because they're not typically freely available. Instead, you really do have to use library databases because those have been purchased and paid for to give you access to these academic journals. So academic journals and the databases that catalog them, that's where you want to look. And then as you're looking through the databases, scholarly sources are going to be present, but other kinds of sources may be there too as well. So you want to be a little bit selective, and I'm going to show you in the search function how you can start to do that. But you'll know for sure that you have a scholarly journal if it meets these criteria. When there are a lot of footnotes or references, so there's a lengthy bibliography given. Keywords like the Journal of, Studies, Review, Quarterly, you won't see these every single time, but pretty frequently. And then if you were to look at print copies or pay a little more attention to some of the bibliographic information, if you see that it's sponsored by a university or by a nonprofit, that's sometimes a tip-off. And then last, when the author is explained and the author's credentials are given in a little mini paragraph or something like that, a lot of times that will help signal that you have a scholarly source. So you will need a library card in order to do this next set of searching. And if you're on campus, you won't have to enter your library card. If you're off campus working from home, you will have to enter that library card number in order to access these databases. I'm on campus right now, so I won't have to do that. And so I'm going to go to the library webpage and click on Databases. You can see that databases are organized a few different ways. One way they're organized is by subject. So you can think about what area would my topic fall into, and then see if there are any particular databases that are recommended for that area. I actually want to fool around with police brutality as my topic for today. So one thing that I might do is scroll down to social sciences and click on criminal justice, because that's an area that that topic would fall into. And then I can see that there are particular databases, which are just like giant digital indexes that are suggested specifically for that area. So I might want to start with one of these. If you're not sure what area your topic would fit into, then you probably want to work with general databases, and that can be just fine too. So I'm going to actually work with that, general databases for now. And then luckily, two of the biggest databases are actually ones that start with the letter A, and that's Academic OneFile and Academic Search Complete. So if you're not sure where to begin, either of those would probably be a good option. And I'm going to work with Academic Search Complete right now. Okay, so you can see that the search page is a little bit complex, and you actually want to manipulate this page in order to get exactly what you're looking for. I think you'll find the process a lot less frustrating if you take the time to make this page do what it ought to do. So I'm going to try police brutality. I'm not totally sure if that's the perfect keyword, but I'll be able to double check myself once I give this a try. And then there's a few other things that I definitely want to do before I hit that search button. One thing I want to do is limit my results to full text. That will bring me just articles that I can access in full. And then, yes, I'm looking for scholarly or peer-reviewed journals, so I want to limit my results to that. And then I'm not anticipating that I'm going to have a lot of trouble finding sources on this topic, so I'm also going to limit by publication date. I think I would like to find sources from the last 5 years. That would be particularly recent. So I'm going to go ahead and limit to sources between basically now and 2010, just to make sure that I'm getting the most, up-to-date sources. So those are the things that I would do to initially manipulate this page, and then let's kind of see what we end up with. Okay, so here's our first attempt. You can see that we've got some literature sources. That's not really what we're looking for. This looks like what we're looking for, and it does seem like police brutality is one of our major keywords, so that's good. I'm also noticing that this combines with the United States. So if I find that I'm getting a lot of sourcing from places outside the US and that's not what I want, then I might want to go back and add that as a search term. In fact, the third source here is actually from Nigeria. And then I see some stuff from Toronto. This is also pretty far back in history. So you're going to have to do a little bit of sifting, right, to find the sources that are going to work best for you. It's not necessarily going to be the #1 thing that pops up. But this one seems particularly relevant. Police mortality, police brutality, United States. And this does give me a full text. So I'm going to actually go back to the search page and try adding United States as an additional search term and see if that helps narrow down. Okay, so this already looks a lot better. This one is still coming up first, but then there's also a law review article. Boston Law Review, notice that word review, which indicates a scholarly article. New Labor Forum, broken policing. So this actually looks pretty decent. Okay, so some of these things could actually be usable.